Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, welcome to the show. This is the Millennial Millionaire podcast, and I am your host, Stephen Cohen. This podcast is focused on bringing some of the wisest minds from across the globe to discuss concepts, strategies, and ideals that will lead them to be top performers in their respective industries and their lives. This show is for the millennials and millennials at heart to transcend their mindset, their health, and their income to the next level. We are so excited to have you on this journey with us. Welcome to the show. Yo, welcome back to the show. Today's guest I am super excited for. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Dan Folger. Dan is a professional photographer turned entrepreneur. He's best known for working side to side with the global superstar rapper Wiz Khalifa. He is a visionary and founder of the company GLD, a 9-figure jewelry company, and has helped many brands grow online into massive companies. Dan, super stoked to have you on the show, man.
Yo, thank you. And I want to say thank you for saying my last name right. So many people say Folger.
I do my research.
Literally, everyone says Folger, and like a lot of the times I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Just say it. It's fine. Because so many people say it, but It's like the coffee, and you said it. So
Gotta get it right.
Thank you so much for saying it right.
Starting off on the right beat, man.
Yeah, man. Here we go. Let's get right into it. I appreciate, you having me here. Let's get it.
Absolutely, bro. So Dan, this is our first time meeting in person, but I've been following you on social media for a while, and your Instagram is popping, man. You know, between you and your lovely girlfriend, you guys live a really cool lifestyle. But in my experience, for people that are living life at a high level, they weren't always at that. Can you talk a little bit about your journey of entrepreneurship and how you got to where you were to who you are today?
Yeah, of course. So I'm from Pittsburgh, PA, from a family that's just working class, never had the background in anything that I do now, no e-commerce, photography, whatever it may be. My parents, just work normal jobs. I lived a good life. So getting into entrepreneurship, I was the one who always was around. So when I did photography, it actually brought me around to a lot of successful people, and it like teased you of want the better lifestyle, So I'm around all these rappers, athletes, whoever it is, and you're like, damn, like I want this so bad. So, I think that just built that fire in me to just want to grind. And basically like I wouldn't say no, and obviously as anyone would know is being an entrepreneur, it's not easy. And I would never tell anybody like, yo, it's not easy. Like you'll fail multiple times. It just comes down to, who's going to take those L's and turn them into lessons and win from that.
Love that, man. When you started as a photographer, did you always have that ambition and the goals and dreams and desires to live life at a higher level? Or was it till you got exposed to people like Wiz Khalifa that we'll talk about in a little bit that really sparked that for you?
Yeah, so that's funny you said that. So when I did become a photographer, it was, there wasn't like big dreams. There wasn't like, yo, I'm going to start a brand. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It was literally like I was just obsessed with taking content. Like to me, just being – it sounds so lame, but just like getting photos of the celebrity was like good enough for me. I just love that passion of like getting the photos, getting the content, this and that. And what really brought me to, expand my mind to think of like, yo, let's take this to another level was when I started working with Wiz, and when I started to like my own brand was growing and, my following was growing, this and that. And I had friends around me who were, got me kind of into e-commerce that were doing stuff. And I was like, damn, I already have like a head start, because I have my own brand. Like if I were to drop something right now, I already have a fan base that would buy it, So like, I feel like as time went on, I kind of was like, I was like, yo, I got to think of the bigger picture because I did get burnt out. Like I was telling you before, like being a photographer on tour, I'm assuming any of my listeners right now that are listening who have done, tours and this and that, it's a lot, man. It's so much, and you're just like, like you see all this money coming in, this and that, and you're like, and you're a big part of it, but you're like, damn, like, I could do this. Like I could be a part of this, a bigger picture and take my brand to the next level.
What do you think separated you from probably the other hundreds of photographers when originally, trying to get in contact with Wiz? Because obviously Wiz Khalifa is a huge name. Mm-hmm. What do you think separated you from him being attracted to you and collabing together?
So there's a few things I'm going to talk about here. So one is that I've learned with a lot of these artists or celebrities, whoever it may be, the most important thing is them being able to tolerate being around you.
Not just like,
yeah, exactly. you know, not just being a great photographer, because I've handed people, whenever I, stepped down with working with Wiz and had to do the GLD thing full time, I sent Wiz people this and that. And it's like the number one question is like, well, Wiz like him. You know what I'm saying? It's like me and him kicked it off great, and a lot of other artists that I worked with, like you need to be a friend. You got to be able to build a friendship because you're with them 24/7. I was with him at all times, like I was at one point living in his house, you know what I'm saying? I was with him at all times. And, like for him, if he didn't happen to like me, he's gonna be like, man, let's just get on to the next guy. I don't care how good he is. So, I think it was just, I was very, we kicked off great with the relationship. And number two, I always wanted to say, I'll literally never forget this, shout out to John Geiger. I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he's another Pittsburgh native. He owns John Geiger, I guess you'd say John Geiger Co., which he has his own shoe line, clothing line. But anyways, he's been a big bro to me forever. And he actually brought me to like my first like Wiz. I was doing stuff around Wiz, backstage, this and that, really not in it. But they were close with this guy named John. And John brought me to this show. And he really I was like with him. And that's when Wiz was like, yo, let me get your email, man. Like send me all the content. And that kind of kicked it off. But yeah, I guess just right place, right time. Like I said, just like not to toot my own horn, just super chill dude, like had fun, and did good work. And I was thing about me is like, you don't need to tell me, oh, Dan, go get that content. I got that. And here's the thing. I was so in it. There's times where Wiz would be like, yo, don't film her. Like, I would rather you tell me, yo, don't get this. Or, yo, back up. I would do what I had to do to get the shot. And it would be funny. Like I'll never forget, I have a sick video clip. I was so close to him on stage and he literally on camera, like pushed my camera. I was like, yo, back the fuck up. Yeah. But when we were done, I edited it. And like when he pushed my camera, I like made it like the choppy, like VHS effect. And it was like fire. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, that's why I did it. So like, I was just like not afraid, man. Like, because I know at the end of the day, that's what they want. They want the content. So I was just not shy. I know a lot of photographers who are shy, man. Some of the people I used to bring on with me were so shy to get I'm like, go up in front of them. Like, I will take your photo until you say, yo, don't take a photo of me anymore. Because it's like, you got to. It's the name of the game in this space. You have to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Closed mouths don't get fed. And,
Absolutely.
Regardless whether it's photography or any industry, like just having that initiative and being willing to do whatever it takes in order to get the job done. I forget the exact quote, but, it goes something like, if you work harder than what you're getting paid, eventually you're going to get paid more than what you're working. And I feel like for you to be able to attract a situation to be with Wiz Khalifa and be in that lifestyle, it opens your minds to different things that maybe you didn't think was possible in the past. What were some things in that period of your life that you feel like you took away that helped you launch, your current businesses that you have today?
Trying to think what would be, honestly, that's a good question. So you're basically saying like, what did I take from the journey? Or you're saying?
Yeah, during your experience, obviously not every 21, 22, 23-year-old gets to surround themselves with someone that is a high caliber individual, and being in that season of your life, how do you feel like that molded you into the person that you are today, or any characteristics that you're able to pull from that?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say, I'm always open to learn, so being around these people, ears are open, I'm here to learn, I'm here to connect, and I'm a very big networker. So when I'm around these people, it's funny, like having a camera, as you may know, it's like having the golden ticket. If you have a camera in your hand, yo, dude, take a picture of us. Hey, I saw you took a picture of me doing this. Let me get your number. Next thing you know, man, for being on these, being in the music industry, I had a phone book of every person you could imagine. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm taking this stuff, that's really when as well, I was like, okay, damn, I have access to everybody. I got to do something bigger than this. You know what I'm saying? I gotta take these connects and turn this into a business, a product, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? I got to turn this into something bigger. So definitely like, networking, just this is me being, 20 years old from Pittsburgh. I was never in the scene. So I needed to learn how to, to be in a room full of certain people, you just learn on the way, like I was just a young kid who, I had to learn on the way. So definitely just like, yeah, networking, learning to just, just learn, from other people, taking that and kind of just, learn on the way. That's all I could really say.
Got to be open-minded, man.
Yeah. Like you have to be, because there's so much things are going on, and you just have to, this is another thing of just like entrepreneurship is, adapting to every situation. You're never gonna have a time where it's just easy. You know what I'm saying? Things change, markets change, this and that changes. You need to be able to adapt very quickly. And that's definitely something I learned as well over the time.
Adaptability, man. Do you believe in luck, Dan? I'm curious.
I absolutely believe in luck. I'm very lucky in the sense, I don't care what anyone says. I know a lot of, can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
I know a lot of motherfucking people who work very hard who just don't have good luck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I worked hard. My partners worked hard. GLD, we worked our ass off. We did everything, we could have done. Was there luck and timing? Of course. Rappers were starting to wear crazier pieces. Athletes, this and that. Jewelry was becoming a, hot piece again. You know what I'm saying? And just luck is there, because I'm sure we know a lot of people who work hard, but they just work hard. Nothing has came from it. So luck is luck, man. It's either, I know a lot of people who aren't lucky, luck is, you need luck to win. It's the truth. You can believe it or not.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think in a sense, people definitely can create their own luck.
Absolutely.
For you, I feel like you were lucky in terms of being at the right place at the right time, but you were also putting that energy into, the universe and working in order to attract that opportunity.
It's like a formula, you have the luck from God, and then you have the luck that you make, what I'm saying, that you put in and make happen. And that's just how it is. Because I know photographers or whatever you want to, business people, whatever, who will be there at the right time, but don't put the work in to make it happen, or vice versa, whatever it may be.
100%. So walk us through it. You went on tour with Wiz. You learned a lot about success and opened your mind to what was actually possible being around these high caliber people. What was that transition period like for you from being a photographer, a high level photographer at that, to shifting to starting your own business, which turned into, one of the biggest jewelry companies out there with GLD?
Yeah. So, so here's the thing. So this is, again, like when I talk about success, I'm a real big, firm believer in, it's like a formula, having a good team, this and that. So I instantly, right off the bat, I brought content. That's the most important thing. Not one of the most important things when you're starting a business is content, especially e-commerce. Our photos off top were unbelievable on Instagram. It's jewelry, we want to be appealing. We had fire content. We were posting dope videos, dope photos, this and that. And then my other partners who were just graduating college, they skipped out on their job opportunities and they went full force right into GLD, and they brought in the expertise that, I may say I wasn't as good in, which was like Shopify stuff and just being organized and, having the time to sit there and fulfill orders, whatever it may be, while I was still running around. Because when GLD started, I was still with Wiz. I had to transition out. I just didn't leave. But it was like a perfect formula because we had the boys back home that were, putting the work in, crushing it, and doing all the business stuff. And then you would have me traveling the whole world and sending crazy photos, this and that, all this good content that we could run with. It was just a good formula because it was like if I was in the office, we were all just sitting there in Pittsburgh, we'd lack the content. If they were all on tour with me, then probably all of us would be drunk and not doing shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like business is a very for me, it's very big on, a balance, a team, and like a formula of success. Like,
totally. How, in terms of your business partners, were those friends that you had from, high school growing up, or where did you find? Because I feel like a lot of people out there, maybe they have a good idea, or maybe they're ambitious, or maybe they've, have these big goals and dreams, but they just don't have the team, or they don't have the people, or they don't have the support in their life in order to get there.
Yeah. So luckily, we were just best friends growing up. When we started GLD, there was like 5 of us or something like that. Only 2 are left, throughout the journey, as businesses, friends that mix. We didn't have fallouts, but like people, just, it's a rough journey, did make it. But yeah, so, there's like 5 of us that were just literally inseparable best friends, which we all were like, yo, like, we're got to do something, man. Like we're not getting jobs. Like we got to fucking have fun. And like, so yeah, it was, we kind of, like I said, adapted. Everyone took on a role and played that part. And then obviously as time went on, some people couldn't, fulfill their role or whatever. And as we got bigger and had other bigger partners, who came in and were like, hey, they got to go or whatever it may be, kind of, trickled off. But yeah, man, we were all best friends. And to be honest, that was the best times of, if I tell anybody, like when starting a business, the start of it is always the best part, because you're like, you're in the unknown. You don't know if you're going to make it. So when you get that one sale, you're like, yes, I already know if you refresh our Shopify, it's like, I know what numbers we're doing, and they're high. And like, it'll be like that every day. Like, you're not fighting. Like when we were young, we were fighting to get that extra sale. It was like the best feeling ever. I'll never forget. This is a funny story I tell everybody. So we were just starting out, and we ordered a bunch of samples of clothes, right? This is like when GLD stage, like we were doing jewelry, but we were like, oh, but we love.
What year was this?
Oh, I mean, dude, this is, what is it? 2023. So probably 2017.
Okay.
Maybe like 2018, whatever. It was a while ago, but we were still like, oh, we got to do clothes. So we ordered all this clothing, dude. Okay. It came in and it was samples of each piece, bro. We each wore one of these pieces out. So when we live in Pittsburgh, when we go to the bars that are like college bars,
yeah,
we came back cranberry stains, rips in them. And we're like, wait, dude, we just wasted like $2,000, which was like probably all the money we had. And we're like, we have no samples to even like take pictures in. Like, what the hell did we just do? But that's like stuff I look back on. I'm like, man, that was like some of the best times like ever of starting a business, like the hardships of it and just being there together and just like really like sitting there like, dude, like, okay, we're going to get past this. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And I think that perspective is important, because there's a lot of people out there that was in your situation in 2017, 2018, that is trying to get their business off the ground. They're trying to get their brand off the ground. But in the moment, those challenges that, when you went through, in hindsight, were some of your best times. In their current situation, they see it as the challenges and hardships. Why do you think most people that start businesses that first year, that first 6 months, end up not fulfilling or end up quitting along the way?
I mean, here's the thing. I believe in this as well. There's some people who are born fighters and winners and just flat out quitters. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who just can't take the stress. They don't have the willpower to sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to have plan B, plan C, and fight through and execute. That's just how it is. It's just like me. Like, I wasn't born to go to college, and there's people who are born to go to college and work and don't want to be entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's some people who just can't fight the being discouraged and having a failure and not to fight through it. Like, I'm telling you, like, anybody out there who wants to be an entrepreneur, you will fail. You will fail multiple times, and you don't take that as like, oh damn, like you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to take this as a learning lesson. I'm going to fight through that, and I'm going to conquer it, and I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to build from it. And that's, do your research. Like, look at some of the richest people in the world. They've lost. And you just got to be that one who believes in yourself, believes in your team and your vision and your dream, and take it and learn from it.
Yeah, man. I think what you said there, failure is such an important lesson for people to learn. And to your point, I think in college, and I'm a college dropout as well, proud. And when I was making that shift from college to entrepreneurship, I got so much hate, maybe not hate, but people who care about me and love me when they think they know what's best for you, but in reality you're the only one that knows what's best for you. So when you're going an alternative route from what they feel like, whether it's your peers, your mom, your dad, your cousins, whoever, a lot of times they project their own insecurities about what they feel like they're not capable on you, and it clouds your own judgment to make sure that you're making that right decision. Did you ever feel that way, shifting from the traditional route of going to college, getting good grades, getting a job, corporate America like most people do, to making that jump into something that's a lot more unorthodox like entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. I've dealt with it 2 times. So the first time was, my parents really knew I wasn't the college guy. It was like, hey, get a job, pay your bills, and you figure it out. Like, I did at first apply to CCAC, which was a community college in Pittsburgh, and I was like, whatever, just do it, And I was really just like lying to my parents about going. Like, it was hilarious. Like, I was actually just like ditching it and doing photo shoots, this and that, but I was making money. I was like I was making money. I remember I took like a week off and went to Tampa and did a bunch of like shoots there, whatever. So anyways, basically I broke the news to them like, hey, I'm not going anymore. And then whatever, like this was like when photography didn't really kick off, but like, okay, it wasn't not like I still needed to pay bills. So I got a job, worked a bunch of normal jobs. But so anyways, where I'm going at is, so before the Wiz thing, I actually had a job opportunity. I was working at a cheese factory, 7 to 3. Shout out to all the guys that are there still. That was a fun job. Fucking, I ate cheese every day. Like, I literally ate cheese every day. It was a cheese factory. I made cheese. So, what?
Cheesehead.
Yeah, I'm a cheesehead. Like, I ate Parmesan cheese, whatever it may be, string cheese. Like, it was fire. So, anyways, I got a job opportunity from my homie, Rocky Fresh. Asked me to go on tour, and it was with Rocky Fresh, G-Eazy, Tory Lanez, Kyle, and a couple other guys. I can't remember their names. And it would be free. He's like, yo, I can't pay you. But like, I was like, this is big. Again, open mind. I'm thinking big. I'm like, all right, this is, I'm cool to not take the money. I'm going to be living for free for the time period. I'm not going to lose anything. I could really make moves. Like, this is to see if I could like make it, basically. Like, if I could take these connections, I know my quality's there. I know my hustle's there. I'm going to do it. So I told my mom, obviously, like, hey, I'm quitting. I'm going this thing. What do you think? Like, oh, Dan, I don't know. I don't know about this. You have bills. Like, I don't know. Like, you're talking to, like, our parents who don't know about social media. This, I'm like, no, I'm telling you. Obviously, whatever. I mean, I'm a grown adult at this point. I'm like, I'm going to do it. So I did it. And the second time I have to deal with this was the whole thing of, like, hey, mom, dad, whatever, I'm stopping working with Wiz. I'm going to GLD full time. And GLD was like, still like, we were making whatever, I don't even know what our revenue was, a few $100,000, whatever, but it was like, again, like, and my mom knows who Wiz is. Everyone knows who he is from the city. It was like the dream job. She's like, she would love to tell her friends. My son works for Wiz Khalifa, or whatever it may be. So for me to say, hey, I'm done. I'm going to start taking GLD full time. It was another thing, like, because I had a constant paycheck with Wiz, this and that, So that was another time she was, parents were nervous. Like, same with all of our, all my partners' parents. They think about them. They went to college and they weren't even showing up to, like, what's the thing, Job Corps, or you know what I'm saying? Job fairs. Like, they weren't even showing up to them. So their parents like, I mean, you went to college. Like, I thought you're supposed to get a job, and they're just like, no, we're going to sell jewelry and turn this into a massive business. So yeah, we've definitely dealt with that. And again, it could be in your ear. It just, you got to toughen it out and be like, hey, take that as fire. Like, when people would say that to me, I would not get mad. I would just be like, that's fine. Like, you'll see. I'm a big believer. Like, you'll see. I like that line. You'll see. I'm going to prove you wrong.
That's it, man. Was that transition scary for you? Because like you said, right, having, a nice, safe, secure job and massive perks and being around, an awesome lifestyle and high caliber people, transitioning to something that's completely different. What was that transition like for you personally?
So I'll tell you, the hardest part was telling him. That was the hardest part. I literally teared up that night. I remember, because I was so grateful for what he did, for me. I'll never forget that. We were at a studio house that he rented in the hills, and I'll never forget, he was downstairs hanging out on his phone, whatever it may be. And I was in my chat with my boys, and we're like, today's the day. You're going to
do day, baby.
No, you got to tell him, like, we need you, man. We need you full time. Like, we got to get it going. And I remember just sitting there, just like dreading going to house. And I went downstairs, and I'll never forget. I was like, hey, brother, can I talk to you? And I literally, like, I told him, I was like, he knew GLD, he was already like repping it, this and that. And I was like, it's doing really well, man. And I think the next step in my life is taking that route, taking the brand to the next level. And as much as I, love you and appreciate everything you did for me, this is what I got to do. And Wiz actually is a part of the brand. So like, he literally is an equity partner, like, he's a part of it. But that was the hardest part, because we built so much together. And again, like, he changed my life forever. I'll never not, say that. I was a random kid in Pittsburgh who changed my life. And that was the hardest part. But like, I was so fired up. Our company was such on fire, and that we knew, like, it's like, once we get the whole gang together and it's go time, we knew we were at that stage where it's like, yo, like, it's go time. So like, I wasn't nervous in that sense. It was more just sad, like, life was awesome, it's dope. And for, to go to somebody and like, who was you considered a brother, and, you felt like they did so much for you, and be like, hey, I'm done. It just sucked,
It's a powerful lesson though. You know, you have to sometimes give up the good
Absolutely.
to get to the great.
Absolutely. You know, you have to, close one door to open another. And I mean, shit, I know if he were to watch this, he'd be like, you made the right decision, because he got a nice payday. I got a nice payday. And, there's plenty more. We're still boys. I just saw him in Vegas not recently. Comes here. He has a residency at Dre's. So I always party with him still. We always kick it, and any business deals come my way and that I know I can involve him, I will do it,
It's awesome, bro. So talk to us about GLD a little bit. Take it from starting this idea, hey, we're going to get into jewelry, and we have these endorsements, and I'm really good at content, to turning it into a 9-figure empire. What was that process like? What was those challenges and breakthroughs that you had to going from a solopreneur into truly building an actual business?
So, starting off, like I said, it was just, the group of us in Pittsburgh. We had no background of e-commerce. We had no background of Shopify, of selling anything, So we learned on the way as much as we could. And this is funny because I actually never talked about him on an interview. He's he's a partner. He's actually the current CEO of GLD. He's a brother of mine. The first big move that we made was we brought a guy named Mark Ceremit, who got introduced from a professor of one of my friends who went to college. And we hired him as a consultant, and he's had major wins. So he's actually one of the founders of Take-Two Interactive. They published Grand Theft Auto.
I know that game.
Yep. And then Take-Two. I'm sorry, not Take-Two, 2K. So, he had big wins, man. A lot of big e-commerce wins. The guy's just an absolute genius. So we brought him on as a consultant. And then he worked with us to, really, structure. We were kids with a great idea, the hustle, the product, all this. And we needed someone to bring in to start to morph this into a real business. And, and that's when we brought him in and things started to snowball. And so we did a deal with his group, and that brought us to New York City. So we moved to New York. Actually, dude, that was probably one of my favorite offices. We had a fire office in Soho, New York City. I'm talking, it was right above the Prada store, because one of our partners owned the whole entire building. Family's like a billionaire. And I mean, dude, we were playing dodgeball in that place. I mean, we were fucking smoking it out, and people at the bottom, you can't smoke in here. And we were we're on cloud nine. We're we do whatever we want. We were loving it. It was so great. But that's when we were this is when shit was getting real. This is when before when GLD started, we paid ourselves $100 a week. Always went back into the business. And then when this started to come in, we were starting to pay ourselves a salary. Shit was getting real. We were this is dope. And then, like I said, from there, it really, it just got structured more, man. We brought people in who had more of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Expertise, exactly. People who've been doing this for a while, And here's the best thing that I love about it. A lot of, if we did it on our own, would I have said we've got to where we're at? You never know. But did they speed things up? Absolutely. Having partners to speed things up, I'm about that. We want to get to the next level fast, and that's what happened. They brought their expertise. We did what we had to do, brand vision, the faces and what we had to do. So yeah, that really brought us to where we're at. And now it's just now it's really at a level where it's crazy. Sometimes you think you're dude, we're it's a huge company. It's crazy to think sometimes. You're it's just so big. What the hell's actually happening? It's cool.
Did you have to have some type of identity shift, or did you have to feel like you had to level up? Because to go from almost kind of like a hobby, making $100 a week, to obviously getting big boy investors, big boy money, big boy business. For me, I know in my own journey, I had to shift from what I viewed myself as in order to allow the floodgates of my potential to come in. Did you go through some type of identity shift during that process?
Yes and no. So we definitely stayed true to ourselves, because the brand was just our vision was the American dream. We didn't try to act rich if we weren't rich. You know what I'm saying? We were just still us, just having fun, work hard. Our quote is work hard, play hard. We love that mentality. You work hard, play hard, give back. We were big on giving back. Is
that where Wiz got the song title from?
Yeah, right? I probably took it from him, but that's the thing. Work hard, play hard, give back. But yes, of course, when the brand's getting bigger, something that I learned, because, I was a little on the little crazier side, is, hey, you're attached to your business. So if, I do something crazy and stupid, it's going to affect the business. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my partners were like a lot more calmer than me. And like, that would really, hey man, like, you know, guys, everyone be aware, like this is big shit now. You know, we can't be fools. Like we gotta, you know, we're attached to the business. So we need to like, you know, keep a standard to the business. So definitely like, you know, you got to grow with the business as it's getting bigger, this and that, more eyes on it. You know, you got to, you know, stay to that level. And obviously as the brand's growing and the vision that we're going, you know, kind of just have to follow it. You know, it's everything goes out the window when it's, you know, when the brand's growing. It's like, you got to just focus on that. That's your baby. That's, you know, that's the big exit. That's the money. So you got to just, you know, do whatever you can to keep that thing safe.
Amen, man. So after GLD, I know you're still obviously involved in it, but I know your big focus now is into branding. I know you dabbled in crypto a little bit. After creating such a successful company, what does it look like after that? Is it you just shifting and using, you know, the resources that you made from that company in terms of investing and, you know, focusing on other endeavors, or what's the shift after creating a, you know, a mecca business as of?
Absolutely. So honestly, man, like, yeah, it goes with anything. Like, again, like I was saying, like not burnt out, but like you just get, when you start to do like, you get that fire, you're like, I want to see what else is good, you know? So, obviously GLD is still going strong, you know, everything's, you know, still a partner, but a lot of hands off of a lot of things. Yeah, man, like I wanted to basically, honestly, I wanted to, this is serious shit. I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it again. Like, cause you could say, oh, Dan got lucky, got Wiz, got lucky, GLD lucky. I want to be like, I swear to God, I want to do it where I prove myself again. Yo, I just fucking built something again. So yeah, it took a lot of my connections, a lot of things that I learned, and you know, my partners right now, you know, all this morning we had a call about acquiring this new business. Can't even speak on it, but yeah, just another business. So yeah, like everything I learned, I mean, I've been in the you know, the game for a long time now, honestly, 8 years of like really like starting a business from, you know, from start to exit. So yeah, taking that and just, you know, getting into new investments. And, you know, it's funny now because when you have money, it is very true. When you have money, it's easier to make money.
Totally.
For example, like, you know, I mean, I could lose on it, you never know, but like just going to do this new real estate investment, this flip, you know, like I probably will make money, but you know, there's obviously there's a chance, but it's like when you have money, you can just make money. And, you know, that's the thing, man. Like I'm just dabbling in a lot of things and I like to do investments. And, you know, a lot of other people may be able to relate to this. The investments that I like to do are ones that I have control in. So I've had investment opportunities, hey, throw money in and I just get a check back. I don't like that because I get nervous. You know, I'm already a very worried person. I like to be able to control our outcome. And I learned this from my partner, Mark, who literally is basically, I don't really have a mentor, but this guy, what I would say is my mentor. You know, he really has changed my life in a lot of ways. And he's the same way. He's like, Dan, I don't know. I think we pass on it. Like we make our own luck. So, you know, real estate, you know, flip, you can design, you know, there's a lot to that. Buying e-commerce businesses that we could be hands-on. We know what we're doing. Not just like, you know, I've been offered real estate funds and maybe they would make me, you know, 100 million. I don't know. I could be missing out on it, but I'm that type of guy I would rather buy something and be able to be like, okay, I know I have the chance to make this better.
Yeah. And I think that's really important, especially in today's age where there's so many opportunities being thrown at people. I feel like people really buy into the concept that, hey, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income or whatever the case is. But what for people don't realize is you have to have one really solid stream before you can start getting opportunities to start, you know, pivoting and leverage. And I feel like self-awareness is basically what you were just talking about, of understanding what makes sense for you. You like having control over your investment and knowing that you can add value to it because you understand that that's what's going to give you the most amount of security and peace of mind, versus people that don't really understand self-awareness and their investment thesis. Therefore, they're just saying yes to every opportunity that comes to them.
And that's the thing too, is like, you know, I've been a victim of this, is trying to juggle too much at once. I have so much shit going and I can't give everything 100%. And it just ends up just being either a waste of time, waste of money, whatever. So like, you know, I basically tell people like, you know, you can have, there's a lot, if you want a big win, man, the big wins are building something that has equity in it. That's going to have an exit. I don't care what anyone says. Cash flow is great. Don't get me wrong. I love cash flow. But when you can build something, whatever, pay yourself out, distribution, salary, whatever it is. But when you get an exit and you get a check for 20 million, 30 million, whatever it is, that's life changing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, and that's something you put all your, really go hard with. So, now my mindset is, I'm focusing on just a few things that I know I could 100% get going. And I still do all day my marketing deals. I'm very big on brokering, yo, Dan, which is great because all these connections I have, I brokered, campaign deals all day. Hey, I need so-and-so Tiger to post this. Cool. Text them, yo, man, I got $100,000 for you. You want to do this? Tell them 120. You know what I'm saying? I do that all day. That's easy. That's tech stuff. But I'm talking about things that I put my time into, like I said, this real estate thing. I have my fiance who, is a partner of mine in it, and she runs all the day-to-day stuff, handling honestly, shout out to you. I couldn't do the work. It's a lot of work. I don't know if anyone out here has done real estate yet, but it is a lot of work. So without her, and actually this gets me into something, building a team again. Like, don't be greedy. I'm cool with not being greedy. I just want to get the end win. So, I could have been like, oh babe, I got it. I'm going to handle everything myself. But next thing you know, I'm not focusing on the other thing, so we like split up as a team. So, she's handling her thing, at the house, we still go over stuff together, but I could focus on my other e-commerce stuff, vice versa, whatever it may be. Don't be greedy, man, because people, I need 100% of it. How about just like getting the job done and making sure it gets done and just taking like 60%.
Totally.
Just so it gets done. And here's another quote. I want to throw this out there. And you can clip this. Mark, my mentor, my CEO of GLD, he said this, and I'll never forget this. He goes, this is whenever we were going to do an investment with GLD, right? We were all nervous. This is our baby. We're like, oh my God, like we do not want to give up any equity. He goes, let me tell you something, guys. Would you rather own 1% of Google or 100% of GLD? And we're like, it's very true. Like the end game, the valuation is the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what 1% of Google, I don't even know what that would be, but it would be a lot of fucking money. So like it puts things in perspective. You're like, hey, like you're right. Like let's not be greedy as long as it's something for the longevity of the company to take it to the next level. So I'm a big fan on that.
100%, man. You hit on a lot of things there. I love the equity piece because I agree. When you look at people that have, deca millionaires, 9-figure net worths, the game isn't about cash flow. It's about how do I get the highest multiple on the exits and businesses that I run. In order to get there, you need a little bit of money.
Absolutely.
If you're not making 6 figures, like focus on making, 6 figures, hopefully 7 figures, and then you have a little bit of leverage. You should have some expertise to hopefully go get a bigger multiple. So I love what you said there. Talk a little bit about how important it is to have a significant other that supports you and that is on the same page, because I feel like a lot of people out there, a lot of people think like, hey, my girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever, is we need to have a power couple relationship, or others like the fact that they focus on business and then, their significant other focuses on tending to, the house or kids or whatever. What does that dynamic look like and how has it supported you in your journey? Absolutely.
And that's funny you ask, because I feel like it's so important and people overlook that. Here's the thing, when I made, and this is me telling the truth, the most money I ever made was since I've been with her, and, when I was in Miami, don't get me wrong, I was in the club every night, this night, and it did help. I was networking like crazy. I was doing this, doing that, but I was young, I was building the connections that I was basically building the path that I needed. You know what I'm saying? As I got older, here's the thing. She got me to be so aware of my mindset and my mental health. That was so important, man, because I do get very stressed. I do, I'm impulsive in certain ways, like happy, sad, or whatever it may be. And a lot of that has affected my business, relationships or money or whatever it may be. So having someone in your corner who, can build with you it's just so important, man. And some people just like don't take the time to like really think about it, and like to any young guys out there, like you may be nervous to like be like asked to get therapy or whatever it may be. But it's like, dude, like, it's not like, you don't need to be nervous. It doesn't make you look soft to do that. It doesn't make anything like that. Just everybody needs it. Everyone really should take the time to work on themselves, because it's like, you know, clear mind, that funnels into better business, better, you know, better health, better mindset going into things, you know? So yeah, I do therapy every week. And sometimes we don't talk about anything, like just like how things are going, or if I'm stressed, you just talk to someone who their opinion, you know, they're not on either side. So I could talk to them about whatever. So yeah, having her has been definitely a great thing. And here's the thing, get you motivated, man. You know, like, I want to, you know, being a guy, you want to provide, you want to be like, I'm the fucking, you know, I'm going to win for us. Exactly. I want to get you that. And, you know, I want to do this for us and this and that. So you get fired up, you get motivated. And here's another thing. Sorry, I'm just like ranting right now.
Drop the fire, bro. Keep it going.
I actually, who did I talk to about this? One of my buddies. I think I talked to Chris about this. But anyways, buying things sometimes that may be out of your budget is not bad, because that puts a fire under your ass. I saw him buy a bunch of cars recently. I'm like, dude, you're crazy. But I was like, yo, that's dope, because I feel the same way. Sometimes when I buy myself something, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of going a little overboard. You're like, let's fucking get it. It's go time. Like, it's time to work now and make it back. So like having that, like, there's times, you know, when we were to get like an apartment that may be more, you know, a few $1,000s more extra, and I'm like, you know, I'm going to work to get it. You almost like, you have to make it. You put yourself in your back against the wall, and you're going to fucking grind, and you're going to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm really big on believing, like, don't be content. Like, okay, yeah, next year I'm just going to do the same place, whatever. No, I'm going to bump it up, and I'm just going to make it happen, because a lot of the situations I put myself in where it's either do or die, I come out on top, and it's just always happened. Like, and I feel like that has made me who I am.
Always, man. And I tell my sales team a lot, it's never a spending problem. It's always an earning problem.
Exactly.
It's always a mentality. You know, if you force yourself and you put yourself in a good position, or if you maybe buy the car, even though you're overextending yourself a little bit, you know, don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be, you know, in a stressful state. But you have to do things to keep you out of complacency, because the only way to continue to improve and evolve, which I believe the universe, God, whatever you believe in, is designed us to do, to continue to progress and evolve. That's when we're the most happiest and the most fulfilled, is to continue to have some type of carrot, sometimes a why, sometimes a goal in order to continue to move to. The second your life starts getting stale and you don't have anything you're looking forward to, whether it's a vacation, a car, a rental property, whatever, is the second you start literally dying, because you have nothing to look forward to.
That's very true, man. You know, I'm not telling people to go out there and just buy a Lambo if you can't afford it. But, you know, just, you know, smart spending, but like, just light that fire under your ass, you know, where you want to get after it. And you're like, hey, you know, I'm gonna figure out a way to make the extra $1,000 a month, whatever it may be. And I'm telling you, that'll be the best advice you ever taken. Seriously.
Agreed. So you talked about investing a little bit. I know you're big into watches. I'm starting to get in there. What's your take in terms of watches? Do you think it's a good investment?
So, AP
gang.
I love this watch, man. Absolute one of my favorite watches. And this is like I was telling you, it's like a trophy, you know? You're just when you get it, you're just like, I've wanted this for so long. I would always follow the blogs, or, you know, the watch pages are like, I need this, and I got this. I got the rose gold chocolate face, and then I got the one that you're wearing. What is 60th anniversary?
Yep,
I bought that for Luana, yeah. And it's just like, yeah, they're trophies, man. I didn't buy it as an investment. Like, this thing could go to $0 tomorrow. Yeah, I'd be pissed off. Yeah. But I bought them because I just love watches. I love, you know, I think every guy should have a nice, clean watch. Doesn't matter what the price is. Just something nice that makes you feel good. You know, you dress up, throw it on. But yeah, I mean, there is money in watches, you know, it's just like the market. Like right now, great time to buy. Actually, I saw they're starting to go up again. You know, I saw some Pateks that were going for like 163,000 at the all-time high. They were like 320. Sheesh. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, there's definitely money in it. I personally buy them because I love them. And it's just when I look down on it, it just reminds me of like why I do this, you know, and I'm not doing it for the money. But I am, like, in a sense, you know, I like to I do like nice things, and I like to remind myself, like, hey, like, this is why you work hard, So definitely love watches.
Yeah, and it's one of the few things I feel like dudes can actually like buy. Like we don't have, I'm not going and splurging on a Prada bag, or like I'm not, buying all this expensive designer. Like I have some nice things, but like watches are the only jewelry that I feel like dudes can really like ball out on and feel good about.
That's absolutely, man. I literally, I couldn't even tell you the last time I bought like something for myself that's like designer. I don't care, bro. Clothes, like, dude, probably like, I don't even know. Packs on. I have some Jordans on, OVO hoodie. Like, I just don't care, But like when and here's another thing. Watches are a very good conversation piece.
Amen.
And you could say this because, of course, I'm sure there's millionaires, billionaires out there who don't wear anything that you would never know. But a lot of people who do have nice pieces, are successful. You don't just wear a 6-figure watch and not make money. So, when you go into places, I would probably go up to the guy and be like, man, I love your watch. Like, whatever we get into, what do you do? Next thing you know, we're talking. So it's a good, it's a good piece to like start conversations with, and kind of, if you go into a room, like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah. Most people aren't financing their 6-figure watch, right? They're buying it cash.
Yeah,
unlike a Rari or a Lambo, or you can lease, or
you're buying these bad boys outright. But yeah, I'm a collector, man. I love these watches. I definitely want to. Probably my next one I would get is I don't have any. I'm a big fan of rubber bands.
Okay.
Because sometimes I don't know. Type in on my computer, I'm hitting it and stuff. I just like a nice, like, a Richard Mille or even an AP with a rubber band. Probably my next one.
100%. Dan, let's talk about brand a little bit. I know this is something you're focusing on, and really, if you look in hindsight over your career, your brand is really what's got you into the situation that you are. How important is brand? What tips can you give on it? And what should people be doing to work on their own personal brand?
So yeah, of course, branding is just so important. Number one, you got to build a brand vision, and you need to stick to it. You can't be like starting 2 years, go for 2 years and change. People just go like, all right, this, it's just too much. You got to stick with something. You got to get a story, and you got to stick with it. Number two, you got to remember when you're building a brand, that's the first thing people see. So, if someone types in GLD, Dan Folger, whatever it is, I want it to be all, solid, good stuff that's, people looking at it like, okay, these people are they know what they're doing, So investing in your brand, whatever it may be, that's just so important. Your brand is you, that's your image. Like whatever it may be, you need to make sure you're all the way up there. And like, yeah, like it doesn't matter if it's like personal, because even this, so for example, like say if I were to reach out to a company, right? Myself through my Instagram, and then a buddy of mine who may have like whatever 500 followers, nothing, just random Instagram, they'll most likely, let's be real, pick someone like me who may be verified, who has more wins under their belt. So it is important to, if you are in that industry of whatever you may want to do, is to really make sure, like, image is big, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, really invest in yourself, of the brand of whatever you're trying to do, and make sure when someone looks at me, they know I'm here for business, basically.
Totally, it's the modern day resume.
It is, exactly. That is I literally, like, I look at my Instagram sometimes as a resume. Like, what am I going to send a sheet in? No, you look and be like, damn, dude, okay, he's with this person had this partnership. You know what I'm saying? It's just so quick. You know what I'm saying? It's just so easy to know. It gives you trust. You see it, you type in my name, you see, for example, like someone may listen to this podcast, like, damn, he really knows what he's saying, or that's cool. He has real life stories, what he's saying. It's just the internet is really our resume now. And I think it's so important, whether it be podcasts, interviews, press, anything. It's just so important. It really is.
100%. You brought up the verification. What's your thoughts about this new news coming out with Meta?
Well, one, I mean, I think we're at a point where it's just like every platform's probably going to do it. They saw Twitter do it. Everyone hated on it.
Good old Elon.
Yeah, they're just going to follow. I mean, it's a money-making machine. How do I feel about it? It sucks because it's like, well, here's reasons. Number one is it's fun to try to get it. When you get it, you're like, I got it. Yes.
Huge.
Like everyone wants the blue check. So now it's like you could pay for it. Cool. I mean, I guess maybe they do other colors, but it just takes it away. It just sucks. And then I guess you could have people who are just straight frauds who pay for it and then just scam you or whatever it may be. It's just money, man. It's a game. Everyone, any big business, they don't care about us. They're just going to want to run it up, and I'm sure then they'll change to something else, a green check or whatever it is. It does suck because, like, again, everyone wants the blue check, and I know it's out there that you obviously you can pay for it, this and that, but it's not that easy. Like, as I know a lot of articles I see, like, oh, you can just pay and get it. It's really not that easy, actually. Especially now, like, Instagram caught on, this and that. So there's still that urge of, like, wanting to get the blue check. So, like, it sucks that it's getting taken away. It is what it is. Who knows? I'm sure maybe there'll be a new platform out soon, and we'll move to that. I don't know.
Rumble? No.
Yeah, I don't even know what Rumble is, but I see everyone posting it. But I don't know. Who knows, man? It's just like, it is what it is. We're just living in Instagram's world. What are we going to do?
Dan, let's talk a little bit about the spiritual side of success. I don't know you super well, but from the vibe that I'm getting is you understand kind of with manifestation and energy and how that all plays in. How has understanding kind of the spiritual side and mindset and attitude and focus and, what you focus on grows has helped you get to where you are today? Yeah.
I'm a big believer in manifesting things. It's like, if you think negative every day, you're just going to kind of grow onto it. It's like hanging out with a group of people. If you hang out with bad people all day, you probably will start to turn bad. If you hang out with successful people and good people, you kind of leech onto that. It's the same thing as just like yourself. So like, of course I get down, and it sucks sometimes, when you're just getting a slump, what to say, deals fall through, whatever it may be. And you're kind of down, you're like, damn, blah, blah, blah. You gotta sit back and be like, okay, I'm going to get this every day. I always, I keep a journal, like a book. I write whatever in it, whatever it may be, but just reminding yourself, like, whatever it is, maybe I won't be a billionaire, but I'll write it down. Like, you will make $1 billion. You will make $1 billion, and like, only God knows if I'm going to do it one day, but I will, in my, deep down in you, it gives you that extra urge to fight for that, that $1 billion mark, So yeah, manifestation is major to me. And being positive, because like I it's happened to me. I've gotten, I had to be reminded, like, yo, snap out of it. Let's think positive. Let's move forward and, make shit happen. Because again, I'm like, I didn't get here from being negative. I didn't get here from, getting in my feelings and, not being able to get out of the rut. So, I just got to remember, like, hey, I came this far, I've done it before. I've been through hard times. So let's keep it moving.
Amen, man. You mentioned journaling. I know you and I both enjoy the cold plunge. It's been a game changer for me. What other rituals or routines have you implemented to keep that high vibration, that high focus, and the stressful life of being an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So I have my book that I just, I keep my thoughts in. I write all my possible plays, my deals that are closed, money that come in and come out. It literally has everything I have in there. I like that because it's like, I'm a big visual guy, I use my notes and stuff on my iPhone and computer, but I really like to, like, I have my book. I could feel it, look through it. I like that. Other than that, I'm not a big, like, therapy is good. Like I said, I was talking about that earlier. Like, therapy is nice. Do it weekly, kind of just like vent about all that, having someone to talk to on how I feel. But honestly, man, I wanted to get into the cold plunge. Shout out to Cold Plunge. They actually sent me mine through my buddy Eli, sent up the deal, and it's been one of the best things ever. And
game changer.
I'll tell you why. So I'm somebody, my mind will never shut off unless I'm sleeping. From morning to night, my mind's going. Anxieties, whatever it may be, it's always going. And when you get in that cold plunge, and I know you can speak on this, you can't think. It's so goddamn cold. You sit in that thing. You can't daydream. You can't think of what's next. You sit there and you're just in like pure, like
presence.
Like you're present. Exactly. And that's the thing with anxieties, you can get caught in the future, past, whatever it may be. You're sitting there and you're just like, I'm just like full focus, just like nothing on my mind. And then when you get out, I don't know if, for people who have never done it, it just feels like you just been like, you have like this electricity through your body. Like, it's like if you had 10 coffees without the jittery feeling, you're out and you're just like so proud of yourself that you just sat in 39-degree water for 5 minutes. You're just like, let's fucking go, baby. You're just so fired up. And to be honest, the cold plunge is the only time where I could shut my mind off. And I feel for a lot of entrepreneurs, they have that same mindset where your mind's going. Oh, you're thinking of like, who's your podcast or your website or whatever it may be. You're just thinking. And that's the only time you could lay there and just be like, nothing. You're just sitting there. You're just in peace. And I need that, because like sometimes I'm so indulged in my phone or my computer. It's just like, you're in there. My hands are under. I can't touch anything. You're just in peace, man. And I really like that, and I enjoy it. And I'm a person, I can't really drink coffee. It gets me anxiety. Like I'll start getting jittery. I love the taste of coffee. Like I love coffee, but I can't drink it really. So the cold plunge is what I do. I don't really have any other rituals, but like that's my go-to, and I try to do it every day. And if I'm on traveling or something, I'll just cold shower. Kind of just gives you that, like, you just reset. Like, you got to reset, man. It's so important.
It's a form of self-care for sure. I mean, the last 4 months I've had it, it's definitely been probably the best investment I think I've made in a really long time. And it's interesting because people hit me up all the time. They're like, oh, what do you think you're taking from it? What do you think the benefits are? And sure, there's a ton of, reducing inflammation, gets your endorphins going, that energy-like coffee feeling throughout the day is awesome. But for me, the biggest thing I notice is my mood increases so much drastically from the days I don't do it or do it.
Yeah. So I forget what the statistic is. Isn't it like 20x dopamine or something? Something wild. Like, yeah. So like when you do it, like, I mean, especially, so there's times where I'm busy and I'll do it at night, whatever, just to get it in. But there's nothing better when you do it in the morning.
Yeah.
And your day, you're just like, let's fucking go, baby. We're in it. Like we just did 39-degree water.
Nothing can stop you, man.
Exactly. Like, you're just fired up. Like, and I think it's the feeling of like, you just who wants to get in freezing cold water? Nobody. I don't care what anyone says. That's not fun to get in cold water, but the reason you're so excited is you just did it and you get out and you just have your body's like numb. You're just like, you just feel so good, and that's important to get your day started doing already on a step of positivity, of, you're just ready to go. And that's so important because then, I'll do it. I'm ready to go and I can bang out all my, whatever I need to do for that day, work, do housework, whatever it is, you're just ready to go. And then you just get to it, man. I love it.
I agree, man. Get your cold plunge, y'all, or do some type of cold therapy.
I mean, you don't even need, and I tell people like, should I get a cold plunge? I was like, hold on, before you, because these cold plunges aren't cheap, $4,000, whatever it is. Start with the cold shower because cold showers are still cold. I know friends who will not even do a cold shower. Do cold showers, get it going. When you're used to it, then start buying some bags of ice, throw it in your tub, or if you have a barrel, whatever it is, ease into it because I'm telling you, like, I've had friends who come and did it and they're like, yeah, I'm just not meant for this, man. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But like, I would have felt bad if you spent $4,000. You know what I'm saying? So like, definitely ease into it, but get out of your comfort zone because it's like, that's why I love it. Like, again, no one likes cold water. So when you have to get in it, you're like conquering, it's just like you're hitting milestones, So for example, I had my dad do it for the first time. First time did it, in and out, boom. Second time, 15 seconds. Second time, 30. And every time he was like more and more excited. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? You feel like, yeah, you're hitting milestones, but by just going in cold water. But it gives you that feeling of like, whatever it is, hitting the water. You just are so excited that you did it. And, that gives, I feel like, gives your brain the feeling of like just winning and accomplishing something.
Yeah, which we don't get much anymore.
We don't.
We're in a society that's bogged down by, lack of adversity. Most people don't go through much adversity throughout the day. So doing something so simple as hopping in your pool during the winter, or cold shower, investing in a cold plunge literally can change your life if you do a consistency because it bleeds into the other areas as well.
Yeah.
Dan, we're both the same age. We're 29 years old, and I've been thinking about this a lot. I turned 30 in July. I think your birthday's coming up as well.
June, yeah.
June, okay. So right before me, a month older than me.
There you go. What year did you graduate high school?
2011.
Same, okay.
Yeah, so class of 2011.
There we go.
What does 30 look like, a new decade?
So two dates that I'm very big on. I love my birthday, and I love New Year's Eve.
Same.
I thought she would laugh about it because she knows, like, when it's New Year's Eve, I'm a big, like, doesn't have to be party, but I want to celebrate because I'm a big on celebrating a year. I mean, dude, that's a year off for life, man. Yeah. Like, hey, we're living to die, realistically. We will, at one point, our time will come to an end. So a year is big for me. You celebrate your accomplishments, everything you did, all the memories you made. Like, going to a new year, I always love to do something. I always want to make sure I'm with my, people that I love, having a good time, because it's like, we're going into a new year. Let's just make the best of it. So, that's New Year's Eve and my birthdays are two big things that I really like to just enjoy, being here on earth and be able to make memories. I'm so big on. That's the reason why I love photography so much, is because I'm capturing memories, and when you do have those bad days, I have hundreds and thousands of photos on my computer. I'm printed out. I like to print them out and just go through and be like, damn, man, this day was so fun, man. This is unbelievable. Such a fun day. It brings you, what I'm saying, other than just thinking in your head, you could visually see it, so I'm big on creating memories. So like when these years pass, it's just like, it's something I just want to be happy about, that I went through a whole year and celebrate another year.
I couldn't agree more, man. I'm the same way. I think birthdays and New Year's are extremely important because it gives a finite start and finish.
Exactly.
And it forces you to go into reflection in order to see what you accomplished, what you didn't accomplish, your progress, your lack of progress. And if you're not keeping score of the game of life you're playing, it's hard to make adjustments when you need to.
I like that.
And I think those are really good checkpoints to look at.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like what you said about, be able to look back and being like, kind of dial in on like what you need to change or what you did or whatever it may be. But yeah, to say the least, man, New Year's Eve and birthdays are big.
Dan, my last question for you. You've been amazing, bro. The energy's been fire. Just love your spirit and your hustler's mentality. If the person you are today, 29 years old, almost 30-year-old Dan Folger, could tell young, hungry photographer, entrepreneur, and go back in time and give yourself advice, what would that advice be to your past self?
Got to think about this. I want to make sure this is good.
It's a deep question.
It is. I would want to tell them, think big, even though it may scare you, and it may seem like this isn't possible, think big. Did I ever think that, GLD was going to be doing 9 figures? No. I mean, we were, at one point making a couple thousand a month, Would I ever think, did I ever think? I mean, when I started photography, this was like a digital camera just taking pictures of my friends and uploading to Facebook of us like doing whatever the hell we were doing, Like I did not expect us to travel the world. I mean, I took photos of every person you could imagine, like Travis Scott, The Weeknd, Diddy. Like I've been, you know what I'm saying? So like, think big, man. Dream big. Never let anyone shoot your dreams down. And, come up with a plan. Like I'm really big on, again, like coming up with a plan and manifesting it and doing whatever you can to do it. If you're a photographer, think about that as being one stage of your life. And that's going to be a stepping stone to get to other big things. Okay, cool. Maybe you want to, start a photo studio, whatever, but that could lead into, all the connections you made could lead into you starting a media agency and, of brokering, whatever it may be, because all the people you're shooting, whatever it may be. But like, yeah, just dream big, think big, and, nevertheless, work hard and enjoy your life while you're at it. It's the life, man. That's what you got to do.
Boom.
Guys, enjoy it.
You heard it from the man himself. Dan, where can the viewers find you?
So all my social medias are just at Dan Folger on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and that's it really. At Dan Folger, man. Let's get it.
Guys, go follow this dude. He's a stud. His lifestyle doesn't inspire you. And just grateful you guys have been on the journey. Dan, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you for having me.
Till next time, y'all. Peace.